Hello, good morning, welcome back to Yarn Tea and Books with me. My name is Tasha, and along with my husband Brian, we are the humans behind Frogget Yarns, hand-dyed yarns, and mobile yarn truck. So welcome on in. It's another week. It's another beautiful day. We have a lot to talk about this week, so buckle on in. Not sure how long it's going to be, but we have a lot to chat about. So in this week's episode, we're going to talk about an epic finished object. I'm so excited to show you. A little bit of progress on my current whips, some very exciting shop news, and we do have a jam-packed book chat. So grab your favorite beverage. This week from Mugwatch, I am having a Victorian London fog tea in my beautiful book stein. This is by Mud Slinging Pottery. And these are always a custom order. She opens a few slots at a time, gets them done and worked out, and then sent, and then she'll open another slot. So sign up for her newsletter if you are interested in one. Follow her on Instagram. She's very active on Instagram. Yeah, and get yourself a custom book stein. All of my, or most of my favorite books are forever immortalized on my mug, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites. So grab your own favorite beverage. I'm going to put that down because it's way too hot to drink. And let's get into it. I have an epic FO, okay? I don't even know if you're ready for this. So, my 2024 Lilypad Club blanket is done. So here she is, all wound up, because she's very big to show. I'll pop a little video in right now. Okay, the blanket is folded in half, but you can at least see every color pairing. Okay, of me unrolling it. So it is folded in half. So it's about 3 feet wide, completely unfolded. So there she is, all wound up. And you can see in the video every color. I did a full size skein, and then every stripe is the coordinating mini. So this was our Scotland collection. That was our theme for our 2024 Lilypad Club. This is all that's left. I didn't even weigh it. I don't plan to keep it. This is deep pink. So this was the coordinating color that went with Victoria Street. And I pulled out my knitting journal, and I'll give you some stats. So I did not start my club blanket at the beginning of the year. I was keeping the yarn. I was keeping a fingering weight sock set for every month, because that way I knew that no matter what I wanted to make, I could either make it in fingering weight or DK weight, just hold it double. So I did not start my blanket until April 8th of 2024, and I finished March 23rd of 2025. I did use US size 6 needles, and it was really easy. I just cast on 200 stitches, and I just knit every row. It's a fully garter. When I got to the end of a color, I just tied a magic knot and added the next color. So that is literally the only waste that there is. Everything else was joined with a magic knot. So yeah, it's done. It's done. I'm so happy that it's done. No one is happier than Cooper, my one of my Boston Terriers. He was my constant companion under this blanket. Every time it came out, he needed to be under it. which made it harder and harder to knit the longer it got. When there's a 40-pound dog on your lap, it's hard to knit. But it's done, and I'm so, so happy. It's probably the reason why I don't have much progress on my other current whips. So let's move on to whips. When something that big is done, I feel like my brain just needed a bit of a rest, and then being sick all week last week didn't help things either. So there was no knitting done last week. I was feeling better last Friday. I was able to work, get into the studio, get yarn dyed. So I think just having something that big off my plate and out of my brain, I just needed a breather. So there wasn't much done on anything else. I did get the last 10-row section and my increases done on the body of my Douglas Cardi. So this is the Douglas Cardi by Andrea Mowry. I am ready now to split for the front and the back. So I have to do some neck decreases on each side front, so left side and right side, and then work the back. So this is done in our Luxe DK, which is a merino cashmere nylon blend. And I am using the colors Mahogany, Fresco, Dunfermline Abbey, Pressed Petals, and Mushroom Bisque. So there she is, cute little frog by Kelsey at the Littlest Charm Co. Yeah, so she's ready to be split and get the fronts and back done. So that lives in my cute little frog under a quilt blanket by Fat Squirrel Fibers. So not much else got done. I don't even remember if I put any other work into my shawl design. If so, it's only like 3 rows. So I'm still plugging away on this. There's no deadline for this, so this is kind of whatever I want to do. This is just a shawl design by me. And I don't remember if I moved this last week, but if so, not much is done. So there's not much to report there. That's just been kind of languishing. And that's probably it. I did wind up yarn. I was going to do a birthday cast on yesterday. So today is Thursday, March 27th. Yesterday, March 26th, was my birthday. And after we filled the cabinet, Mr. Froggett treated me to some birthday fun. And I'll talk about a lot of that in book chat. And I originally wound up yarn for a birthday cast on. I really want to make the Pressed Flowers shawl by Savory Knitting. I've been wanting to make it for a while. And so I went through my stash and I found a combo that I really, really like. So we have this beautiful light gray. This is Blue Sky Fibers Woolstock Worsted in the color Gray Harbor. Of course, it's upside down. So there's that. I bought this years ago down in North Carolina at the Salty Sheep yarn shop. We used to vacation there every year. And Peggy is a very dear friend. And I bought this and something else. I think my original intent was the Cinnabar shawl by Andrea Mowry until I realized that half of that shawl is brioche. I don't do brioche. So I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to use this beautiful, this is Feederbrook Farms. And this is their Entropy DK. So it's 100% blue-faced Leicester wool. So that's them. And I think that will go really well together. So this will be my flowers and this will be my background. So I was going to cast that on, but then the day just got away from me. We were busy, and then my parents showed up. They always show up on my birthday, and we had a great time visiting with them. And my son in Maryland and his girlfriend FaceTimed, so I had a nice time video chatting with them. So the day just kind of got away from me. So I might cast that on now that the blanket is done and I have more brain space. I'm free to cast on. So that is it for what I've been knitting this week. So let's move on to shop news. Shop news is exciting. So it's that time of year where it's Advent calendar time. So I put up a teaser for our Advents earlier this week. We will be offering 3 Advents again this year. So the same types that we offered last year. So we have a traditional 24 days of minis countdown. We always do 25 minis and a full-size skein. So we will have that option again this year. We have a weekly option where you get, ours this year will have 5 sets. So you'll have a full-size skein and a mini. You're going to get 5 in ours this year. And I'll explain why when I show you the inspiration. And then we're going to do our 12 days of 50s again this year. It wasn't super popular last year, but I think it's a great option if you don't want 25 more minis to add to your collection and you don't want 4 or 5 full-size sets. So I hesitate to call them sock sets. That's the most popular term. But they can be used for anything. So we offer them on fingering weight or DK. So you can literally make anything you want with them. But that's the most popular term is sock sets. So I think the 50-gram skein option, you will get 12 50-gram skeins, is a good alternative to having all of the minis or all of the sock sets. So for our main 24-day countdown, we are going to be inspired. I wanted to continue the book theme. So because our club all year is book themed, there were just so many books that I couldn't include. You know, there's only 12 months. And I really am tempted to continue the book theme into next year. But it was a good way to continue the book theme into our Advent. So our 24-day Advent, our big one, will be all inspired by the Fourth Wing series. So we've got Fourth Wing, we've got Iron Flame, and we've got Onyx Storm. So these are all by Rebecca Yarros. This is a very popular series. If you've read it, you know. If you haven't read it, give it a shot. It's one of my absolute favorite series. So all of the colors will come from the books. The characters, the dragons, the different places, the settings. There's some famous quotes that I want to put down on color. So it's just going to be a fun time. And it works out well with having the 24 or 25 minis because I can break it up and I can pull 8 colors from the first book. I can pull 8 colors from the second book. And I can pull 8 colors from the third book and then round it out with that extra mini and the full-size skein. And despite the bully that ruined my Tuesday this week, trying to tell me that I cannot do this, I'm going to do it because I don't take anything from bullies. I refuse to be bullied. So I'm not going to get into that, but let's just say no one's going to tell me how to run my business, and no one's going to tell me what I can and cannot do. Yeah, so Fourth Wing it is. Our second option will be the weekly sock sets, for lack of a better word. And we are going to be using the Dream Harbor series by Laurie Gilmore as our inspiration for each set. So these are very popular. We've got the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. We've got the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I think these are in the right order. We've got the Christmas Tree Farm. And I just picked this one up yesterday. This is the newest one, the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. And then there's one more. It's called the Gingerbread Bakery that comes out, I think, in September. So there will be 5 sock sets in our weekly calendar this year. Why 5? Usually for Advent, there's 4 Sundays that lead up to Advent. Well, last year we did a special like Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve cast on set, and it wasn't wildly popular. So I don't think I'm going to do that this year. But what I do want to do, since it is a 5-book set, is have that calendar be 5 sets. 1 set for each book. And you can use it however you want. If you want to count down the 4 Sundays till Christmas and then use the 5th set as your Christmas Eve or Christmas Day cast on. Or maybe you want to count down the 4 Sundays, Saturdays, whatever, to the new year and use the 5th set as your New Year's Eve or New Year's Day cast on. Or maybe you want to keep it until, you know, January and count down to your birthday or whatever. So we're going to do a set for all 5 books. And so that calendar will be 5 sock sets, either fingering or DK weight, each one inspired by one of the books. And then our last option is our 12 days of 50s. We did this last year and the people that got it loved it. We did a very like muted kind of subtle fade. None of these will fade this year. I'm not guaranteeing any fades. The Fourth Wing one, it's just simply because there's so many things I can pull from. There's not going to be a fade or any kind of, you know, order. They're going to be the colors that they are. So for the 12 days of 50s this year, I am pulling inspiration from my absolute favorite Christmas special. I've watched it since I was a child. I own it on DVD. I still try to watch it every Christmas, and that is A Charlie Brown Christmas. Now, this will not be a Christmassy themed color set, even though it's called A Charlie Brown Christmas. A few years ago, our Christmas color was called A Charlie Brown Christmas, but it was more, I drew the inspiration from like the tree lot in the special is all those retro fun colored, you know, the metal trees. So they were pink and purple and blue and gold. So it wasn't super Christmassy. So the same thing's going to happen for this. I'm going to pull colors like Linus's blanket and Snoopy's doghouse and the Christmas tree lot. There's lots of beautiful colored pictures in here that I can pull from, and I will also pull from the special. I have it on DVD, so I can watch that. And so this will just be a fun throwback to a classic children's special that unfortunately, you know, is not easy to watch anymore, which is just sad because I grew up on this. My kids grew up watching this because if I watched it every Christmas, you can bet my kids watched it every Christmas. So that'll be our 12 days of 50s. So that's 3 options. I will be able to offer a fingering weight, no nylon option this year for all 3 calendars. I've checked with my distributors and I can get minis and 50s along with we already have a no nylon option 100-gram skein. That's our bisque fingering. But I am able to get 50s and minis that don't have nylon in for the fingering weight. Our DK weight already does not have nylon in. So When do they go on sale, Tasha? Pre-orders will open April 18th at 9 a.m. That's when you can place your pre-order. I always strive to ship them the very beginning of November because I have a break from like our last October show before our very last show in November. I have a bit of a break that I'm able to get them packaged up and get them to the post office in small trips so I don't overwhelm poor Dan at my post office. So you ordered them in April. I'll ship them at the very beginning of November. Last year we got them out in October, so we give ourselves that buffer just in case we need it. Show season can be hectic and stressful. They'll all be dyed. They'll all be dyed over the summer when I'm off the road. So it'll just be a matter of packaging and yeah, getting them all together. I also wanted to announce that our favorite charm maker, Kelsey of the Littlest Charm Co., will be designing a set of her progress keepers. They won't be books. She'll be making individual sets for each Advent. So there'll be a Fourth Wing set, there'll be a Dream Harbor set, and there'll be a Charlie Brown set. So I'm very excited that she agreed to work with us on these. She's very excited. She's been sending me little peeks at the samples that she's making. So I'm super, super excited about that. So that's Advents. We'll talk more about them as we get closer. That's just, you know, that's just the basics. Yeah, and I hope you're excited. I hope you'll join us. Advents are a lot of fun. And I love dyeing them. They're a lot of work, but they're a lot of fun. So what's next? Our next show is April 26th. It is the Frederick Fiber Fest in Frederick, Maryland at the fairgrounds. It's a one-day show only. It's from 9 to 4. It is a free event. You don't need a ticket to get in. You just come and shop. There are a lot of vendors. There will be 3 or 4 yarn trucks this year. We'll be there. Cesium Yarn will be there. Rising Tide Fiber Co. will be there with her new trailer. And I can't remember if the Yarn Adventure truck is there for spring or fall. So yeah. But it's an all-day amazing event. There are a lot of vendors. We are going to have a special fundraiser event for that show for our LLS fundraiser because 6 of the 7 dyers on our Lilypad Lifesavers team will be at that show. So stay tuned. I'll give more details on that as we get a little closer, but there will be a special giveaway for anyone who wants to participate with donations and buying the special colorways. But it's one of the few shows where all 6 of us will be at the same show and you'll be able to see all of our colors together. So I'll give more details on that as we get a little closer. The very next week, we will be at Yarncentrick. This is a pop-up event, excuse me, the weekend of Maryland Sheep and Wool. So Maryland Sheep and Wool is the big East Coast event at the Howard County Fairgrounds in Maryland. Yarncentrick is the Friday. It's a pop-up. It is a ticketed event. And I'm bringing this up because tickets are on sale now. You have to choose a time slot. There are 4 time slots for the entire day. I will leave a link to where you can get your tickets down below in the description box so that you can go and get a ticket. There will be 4 yarn trucks at Yarncentrick. There will be us. Melissa from Rising Tide Fiber Co. will be there. Cesium Yarns will be there. And then our good friend Robin, who is the Yarnbirds truck from Ohio, she will be there. So 4 yarn trucks for you to shop, plus 30 vendors inside the building. It's a really great pop-up event. We've been there since the very first year, which is super exciting. And we love to do it. It's super close to home. We drive down that morning, we park the truck, we do the show, we go home. So I love that it's that close. And yeah, you should totally come and see us. So we are still doing our LLS fundraiser for a cure. I did show 2 of the other colors that I picked up at Nashfest. I showed that in last week's podcast. This is our color for a cure. This will be on sale only through, so the fundraiser runs through May 21st. May 22nd is like the grand finale event, but you cannot make donations after the 21st. So I have to cut the yarn off maybe a few days before that, just so that I can make sure it's dyed and I can get the donations in before that 21st. I'll have to suss that out. Anyway, you can either buy the yarn. We are donating $10 from every skein of this color that we sell directly to our campaign. Or if you don't want to add to the stash, I get it. You don't want another 1 skein, sitting somewhere. I get it. You can make a direct donation. It's really easy. You can choose your amount. I will leave a link to our direct donation page and a link to this listing on our website in case you want to check them out. Send your weekly coffee money maybe our way this week. We would really appreciate it. The team is doing really well. I'm very proud of my team, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It feels good to give back. So that's LLS. What else? Pre-orders for April's Lilypad Club are closing Monday, March 31st. So if you haven't got your pre-order in yet, don't wait. I just dyed everything that has been ordered up until yesterday. So I have to do that yet today. I'm going to get everything packaged up. The charms just showed up yesterday. So here is our charm. Kelsey she did such an amazing job. This is our charm for April. Our book is Phantasma. So she did an amazing job with this. There are 5 charms left. That's it. When they're gone, folks. They just arrived yesterday. So I can get everybody's pre-order packaged up and sent out. Hopefully they will hit the post office tomorrow. If you pre-ordered, thank you so much. Yeah, I've loved dyeing it. I'm super excited. I also wanted to give you a little teaser. I'm not going to tell you what May's book is yet, but every month when I receive the charms for that month's orders, I get an advanced copy of the following month's book charm, because I have to be an extra month ahead for Kelsey. So she has to know what June's book is going to be, so that when she sends me May's books in April, she can send me the copy of that charm. So May's book will not be announced until April 15th, but I'm going to show you the charm, and I'm going to challenge you to take a guess. Leave me below in the comments your guess for what you think our May book pick is going to be. And I will tell you next week in the episode if you got it right. So here is the charm for May's book. Look how pretty that is. So if you think you know what book we're going to read in May, let me know in the comments, and I'll announce if you were right next week. That's all I'm going to say for that. What else for shop news? Last thing, our Enchanted Forest kits are still on sale. You guys are really loving those. We have a knit kit, which is for the Enchanted Forest shawl, and we have the crochet kit, which is for the Bramble Wrap. I will leave links to both of those patterns and the kits in the description box. Just know that when you buy the kit from us, the pattern's not included. We want you to go and support the pattern designer directly and get the pattern from them. I think both patterns are only available on Ravelry, which kind of sucks because I know not everyone can use Ravelry, but I think if you reach out to the designer, they may be able to arrange something else. So I will link to all of that down below as well. And that's it for shop news. Whew, that was a lot. But we have an epic book chat. So let's move on to book chat. Yesterday was my birthday. Thank you all so much. I got so many birthday wishes yesterday. It was wonderful. I had a great day. The only thing I asked Mr. Frogget for was a trip to the bookstore on him. And he delivered. We'll get into that in a minute. First, I want to say that I finished The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. So many of you commented last week saying, oh, I read that a few years ago and I loved it. This was so good. This is a great example of why I love middle grade books. This book made me cry at the end, even though I knew what was going to happen. I could tell. It still got me. It got me so good. And I'm glad that it didn't have the, butterflies and unicorns, happily ever after. There was some sadness. There was loss. And I think kids need to read about that. This was so good. If you haven't read this, this is why I love middle grade books. This was so good. It was a great reminder for me to read more from this category because this was so good. Very touching. If you have not read this, I absolutely recommend it. I gave it 5 stars. So good. Such a perfect example of a middle grade book. Yeah, loved it. I'm still listening to Goldfinch, which is book 6 of the Plated Prisoner series, but I only have 5 hours left. So, one session in the dye studio and I'll be done with that one. My next audiobook is going to be Phantasma. I already cashed in my credit because the audiobook won audiobook of the year last year for the narrator. And so I want to listen to it. So yeah, I'm almost done with my audiobook. So that'll be my next one. My Kindle read is The Ever King by L.J. Andrews. And I'm about a quarter of the way through. I'm about 25% through. It's not a very big book. This is really good. I'm loving this. I'm reading this on my Kindle just because I already had it, but I wanted the indie copy. So love that. So that is my current reads. Now, Mr. Frogget took me to the bookstore. And I did a little teaser yesterday. I did a little story video where I sneak peeked my book haul. So let's start with Dragonfall. I think this is called, the Dragon Scales Duology. So these are the Barnes & Noble special editions. So we've got Dragonfall and Emberclaw. This one just came out. I don't know if, no, the books are not anything special, but they have the beautiful edges. And I wanted the set. So I got the set. He treated me to those. I also got the newest Ava Reed book. She's the author who wrote our March book, A Study in Drowning, and I really loved her writing style. So she's got a new book out called Fable for the End of the World. And this is also a stunning book, even the inside, there's even beautiful edges. So I'm excited to read that one. It just says, this world can break anything. So you don't get a lot of lead up. I also got the first book in the Legendborn series. I just keep hearing great things about this series. The third one just came out. I think it's called Oathbound. So I only got the first one, and if I love it, I'll get the other two. I have a tendency to jump ahead and buy like the first 2 or 3 in a series. And then just like the Hurricane Wars, I bought the second one and didn't really love the first one. And had I not bought the second one, I would not. Probably, I would maybe get it from the library. That way, if I didn't like it, I didn't have to own it, but whatever. Lesson learned. I'll read the first one, and if I love it as much as everyone else does, I'll get the rest. Then I got Cassandra Clare's newest series. The second one is already out. I didn't pick this up when it first came out. This is Swordcatcher. I love Cassandra Clare. I read all of the, what was it? The Shadowhunter books. I read all of those. I own all of those. So yeah, Cassandra Clare, she's pretty much a buy sight unseen author for me. I love the way she writes, and I love that she can do so many storylines so well. The next one that I got is called Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. This is a separate. The Crowns of Nyaxia series is by this author. It's 6 books, 3 sets of duologies. So then this is kind of one that you read in between. And then there's a little novella called 6 Scorched Roses that you also read in between. So I've read the first 2 books, the first duology, and I think I'm supposed to read this before I read the second duology, which I have the first one of that. The second one comes out later this year. So I have to double check in what order this goes. But I wanted to get this one. This was, I think, just re-released. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous copy. So this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. Barnes & Noble sent me a coupon for my birthday. So yeah, I got that one. And then the last 3 that I got are more middle grade, because I was on such a high from The Girl Who Drank the Moon that I wanted to read more middle grade. So I got Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. I think that's the first one in a series, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. It has a 1 on the spine. I also got book 2. I don't know what it's called. I have A Tale of Magic. This is A Tale of Witchcraft. And then the third one is called A Tale of Sorcery. So this is by Chris Colfer. They had the third one there. But I did the middle grade last, and Mr. Froggett was carrying the bag, and I could see that the bag was very full and very heavy. So I asked all of my children for Barnes & Noble gift cards. So I will save some of the other ones for the gift cards. And then the last one that I got is by Anna James. This is the Pages & Co. series, and the first one's called The Book Wanderers. So these are all just, fantasy, fun little books. That's the book haul. It was pretty epic. It was a good time. He took me to Starbucks, and we had, a little chai latte. He made me dinner, which was super, super sweet. He did all the dishes and cleaned up. He's a keeper for sure. Yeah, never given him up. So thank you, Mr. Froggett. It was a wonderful, wonderful trip to the bookstore. He also took me shoe shopping, but I didn't find anything that I wanted or liked. So no shoes. And yeah, it was a great day. I think that's it. That's my epic birthday haul. That's my current knitting. Yeah, it's been a great week. I'm happy to be feeling better. Thank you all so much for the well wishes. And for all of the polite comments about how bad I didn't sound last week. I heard myself. I have to listen to myself multiple times at the end of these. So you all were so nice. So thank you so much. I'm glad to be feeling better. Glad to be back in the studio and getting all the yarn dyed. So I have to finish up a wholesale order for our shop that is close to home. And then I can get out in the trailer, see what needs refilled and re-dyed before we head to Frederick. So don't forget to get your April club pre-orders in. That will close, like I said, March 31st. That goes down at like 11 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. My computer or my system won't let me do midnight, I guess, because technically that's April 1st. But anyway, at the end of the day, on the 31st, pre-orders will close. So yeah, and then next week I'll be able to show you, I'll be able to reveal the color, show you my finished granny square because it is done. And we'll have hopefully a lot more to talk about. So leave your May book guesses below for what you think this charm is for. Oh, it's so pretty. Leave those below. I'm excited to see your guesses. Yeah, and thank you so much for joining me. I had a great time. This was a chatty one, and that's all I've got. So take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I will see you back here next week. Same time, same place. And until then, happy making. Bye.